Hi, and welcome to the Evolution Podcast. Today, I'm going to be with you talking about something that it's kind of a reminder. Many of you may know, but if you don't know, um, maybe you'll look into it a little bit. But today's topic is about did you remember you can manifest? And a lot of times, when people get into personal development, they'll write things down. They say, I want this, I want that. And many times they don't even realize that they did manifest a lot of the things they want. So, one thing might be to go into reflection and realize what you are doing to remind yourself that you can do more. The other part is to slow down for a minute and kind of wake up and look at some of your goals. It is really easy to get caught up in the world and work or life, and you kind of stop manifesting. You stop looking for the next thing or the bigger thing or the possibility that could come in from out of nowhere that you don't even realize is possible. And let me give you an example. I'll actually give you a couple examples. Recently, one of my clients, one of our clients, was wanting to do something that cost extra money and was a little bit outside the budget. Would have taken probably several months to get it fit in. His main thing was it was going to cost money to do something for themselves that they wanted to do. And kind of put it out there and began working towards it, just doing whatever it took to work towards it. But the topic was, well, you want to do it. So let's make a plan that works and then we will see what happens. And I don't know, a month or within 2 months, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, gets a tax refund check for pretty much the exact amount of money needed in order to do the thing. Now, there was no reason to make sense of this tax refund, no idea that it was coming or anything else. Perfect amount of money to cover it out of nowhere. So you got to remember that if you just set your sights on what you want and then do the work anyway and kind of forget about it, it's a very powerful way of manifesting. Some of the other things are when someone decides they want to meet someone. They're looking for a relationship or they're looking for a solution in their relationship. And then something happens and just solves the problem. You know, a lot of times when it comes to relationships, someone will talk about a coincidence. Well, I just met this person, da da da. I could give a reference to how I met Jen. It was there were so many things that aligned with us from the personal development that we do. We were both actually part of a network marketing company that we'd never met before. And and we live 15 minutes from each other. So that's kind of unique to have never met. We were going to the same church at the time. We were even talking to the same guy. There's this older guy, really nice, that was very generous and would always save Jen a seat. And so she always had a kind of an upfront seat. Now, I usually talked to him every time I went to church. She talked to him every time she went to church. We had never met. And just kind of so happens that he was also in a Bible study that I put on, and he came to my Bible study. And so what a coincidence, right? Like it's not really a coincidence, it's manifesting. And so there were all these little things that kind of worked together, that plugged in, that just kind of brought us together miraculously. There's also many things that can be as simple as, how do I deal with this? And then something happens and the problem is solved. One of the key things doing this is to not get too wrapped up in it. And when you get too wrapped up in it, that's when you kind of block it from happening. And in the membership, we talk about this. We do clearing for this, the subconscious clearing, keep the energy flowing, and help people do this. And why many of our clients are manifesting these crazy things like out of nowhere, kind of surprising to them, not surprising to me. And often I have to remind them, remember when you said this? Look, oh my God, can't believe it, right? So the question to you is, did you forget? There's a few people I'm working with currently that are very much business oriented, and they're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and it's like, yeah, the plan looks great. Yep, like it. Let's do it. They even have extra help to accomplish their goals, but they're missing this one little part, and I'm not sure if they're even going to catch it. And that kind of inspires this topic as far as saying, Remember that you can manifest. Don't get so caught up in it. I'm not one of these people that will tell you, yeah, you can have, be, do, blah, 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 everything and whatever. I mean, you can get all high and excited and have really high energy and probably manifest some cool stuff. But most of the time it fades or it wears off and people kind of wind up back where they are. But you have to remember that there are certain things of why this will work or why this doesn't work. And also that you are manifesting 24/7. This isn't something that you just decide one day, oh, I'm going to start manifesting. No, you're actually manifesting all the time. And so if you're manifesting all the time, this machine that's running, giving you what you want, or at least giving you the results you might think you don't want, but it's providing for you. And you decide, well, if it's already running, why not try to get more out of it? Why not put it out there? And I'm going to talk about a few key things that are important here on how this works. One, you have to have faith. You have to have a belief that it will work and it can give you something. And you kind of have to understand faith. Faith is believing in something you can't see or understand fully. Like maybe you understand pieces of it, but you don't know the whole thing. And I'm not speaking religiously. I'm speaking in, if I want to, let's say, increase my income, and I have no idea how that could be possible, but I have faith that there has to be some way to do it. I just don't know how yet, but I have faith that there's a way, and I'm just manifesting to find the way or find the greater income. If it's a relationship, I have faith that God will put the right person in front of me at the right time. So there is faith, key factor in this. So remember that. The next thing is you can't have a timeline. If you get so focused on it as in, I need this now, I need to make this happen, da 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 da, you're just going to block it. You're not going to see it. You're going to get in your own way. It just really interrupts it. And that's the cool part, is a lot of times when somebody manifests something really cool, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it, because they weren't blocking it. They weren't in their way. They kind of said, this is what I want. I have faith in it, but I don't, it doesn't really matter when it happens because I have a plan anyway. So that's the third thing. Have a plan anyway. So if it's financial, you set yourself up on a long-term plan that you believe can work. And then you start working towards it. And if you're committed to that delayed gratification and getting it, it means you don't have any blocks. But if you get impatient, I need this now. I want this now. Why isn't this happening? Block, block, block. Yes, there are things we can do to clear it and everything else, but you should always have a plan in place that raises your belief in your ability to achieve it. And once you do that, and then you have faith combined with it, and then you kind of let go of the timeline, as in, if it takes me this many years in order to do it based on what I've already provided and everything else, and I feel good about it, then I can manifest it. And then boom, something happens, comes in quicker. If it's a relationship, you can't look at it as an, oh, why doesn't everybody love me? Or what am I doing wrong? Or da da da. You just keep doing the best you can. You keep working on yourself. You keep becoming a better person. You be yourself. You do the things that are going to keep your vibration as high as possible. So, those are a few things. The biggest one of all of them is that you always feel good when you think about it. If you start thinking about it and it causes worry, doubt, questions, or just flat out, you didn't feel as good as you did 2 seconds ago. Like now I'm thinking about my goals and it feels heavy or it begins to feel like work. I mean, something is not aligned. And you got to look at those things. Where's my faith at? Do I have a plan anyway? And am I willing to remove the timeline and just let it happen on God's time? Let it come in. And if you look at those things and you feel good by just maybe sometimes, well, most of the time, if someone's stuck on this, I can just stretch the timeline out and say like, okay, if it's this long, but you still get it, or is it okay? Their vibration will actually raise a little bit. Again, there are very specific things that we can do to clear energy in order for that stuff to happen. Relationships get confusing. There's a lot of clearing to be done around that type of thing as well. A lot of, okay, well, I don't want to focus on the negative of not having it. So then what do I focus on? Because it seems to be the only thing on my mind. Well, there's solutions to that. You got to change the channel, find good things to think about. So it's just these are directions. Like I said, I'm not one of these people to say, oh, go jump up and down, get excited, do this, do that. Yes, you need to have fun, but this isn't fantasy land. One of the key things is have a plan anyway. And like, well, how do I have a plan with a relationship? Well, are you dating? And have you written out a really proper relationship vision? Have you written out what you want your life to look like? Have you written out what if it's finances, what your day looks like? If it's your body, have you written out how you would like to be living life in this way? Yes or no? So a lot of this is just your independent work that you have to sit down and do. And this is, again, one of the cool things about the membership is we actually slow you down enough to think, to write. When reality is, if I tell you to stop listening to this right now, chances are you're listening on the go. So you're not going to stop. If you have the opportunity to stop and write down some of, take notes, then great, do it. But the percentage of people that do that is very slim because often you're listening on the go. So when you do something like come into the membership and we stop and we ask the question, write this down, and we will be looking for your feedback, or you will go into a breakout room so that you can share with other people. That changes who you are. When you start speaking about the things that you wrote down to another person, it changes your vibration. It raises your own belief and it makes your brain say, get to work. We need to manifest this. So they're super important pieces to these things. But the question I have for you started with this. Did you forget you can manifest? Did you forget that you could literally make your yearly income in a month or a weekend? You might think, yeah, right, that's impossible. It's not. I did it. I went from making around $100,000 a year to getting, to kind of going, you know what, I want to change some things. And I started moving and I started doing things, and this led to that. And I joined a network marketing company and I was making some pretty good money from that, but I had no idea what was about to happen. And then out of nowhere, I saw a deal and I started making phone calls and I started making sales. And in a weekend, I made 100 grand. So think about it. I'm not saying you're going to do that. I'm not going to say you're going to take your whole month yearly income and make it in a weekend, and 100K is not that much, but it's always possible. So you got to really kind of put out there, hey, if it's possible, I want to know how to do it. Now, maybe you're not supposed to do it that way yet. Maybe you are. I don't know. But if it's a little bit, then make it a little bit. Have a plan, write it down, create a story that creates a video that creates an emotion. And it's that emotion inside of you that creates the desire. And then that energy vibrates out and it goes and affects all energy. And then all you got to do is not get in the way. And so to not get in the way, you remove the timeline, you practically forget about it because you already have a plan that you're going to continue working on that you like and you're going to do. And then you just put your energy into that wholeheartedly. And because your energy is high and you're doing the activity, it raises your belief and it starts to bring in the rewards of your manifesting your results. So I'm going to end with that. Just a reminder that everything you have right now is what you are manifesting, and you have the power to change your reality in any given moment that you actually decide to do it. So I'm going to tell you right now, decide to do something different. And if you want help with that, come into our membership. Come talk to us. Come join the other people that are getting this just incredible value that we're hearing wins like week after week. New, when you get to experience learning something like you're 10 years old or 5 years old, but you're 50, is pretty freaking cool. And it just comes through doing this kind of work. I learn stuff. They learn stuff. I have coaches. They hired us to teach them. So if you're wanting to change your current results, come in, join us, start manifesting intentionally, and have fun with the journey that it creates and the progress and the happiness that comes with it and the joy. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's spiritual, if it's relational, if it's financial, or if it's with your body. There's all kinds of, a lot of energy techniques that I use, a lot of really good information that we have around relationships on how to communicate and actually live a great life, a lot of financial training, a lot of physical stuff, like very, very specific in-depth stuff that is not normal in the world that bringing to the table. So please take advantage of it. Look into it. If you have any questions, reach out to me for a conversation or reach out to Jen. You can find us on Facebook. You can comment wherever you're seeing this, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, or whatever. Throw a comment in, but contact us. Reach out and say, "Hey, I want to know more. What are you doing?" You can also go to our website. It's very new. I still need to edit it and go into some things, but you can go in and fill in a form, and we'll get information from that. And that's just grantscoaching.com. Pretty simple. You can go there, fill the form in. It'll come to me one way or another, and then I can reach out and say, "Hey, how can I help? I'm here to serve." All right. So have a great day, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.